Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Sip and Talk.
As always.
My partner in crime.
Hey, everybody.
Did you catch that, total train wreck of a video?
Oh, yeah?
With that beauty influencer?
Oh, with the cake.
Who tried to,
the unicycle.
bake a cake while riding a unicycle?
It was wild. I mean, honestly, it's kind of impressive they even tried it.
Right.
The effort was there.
But why do we even care?
Right.
And why am I, refreshing their feed every 5 seconds to see if they've posted an update?
It is kind of weird, right?
It's so bizarre.
It's like we're obsessed with watching these people even when they're doing, that.
Exactly. Why are we so fascinated by all these influencers and celebrities? What is it about them that just sucks us in?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
So for today's deep dive, we're going down the rabbit hole of why we're so obsessed with influencers and celebrities.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because
we did some digging.
Yeah. And let me tell you, things are about to get interesting.
We went full on Sherlock Holmes on this one.
Oh, really?
Except, instead of a magnifying glass,
yeah,
it was endless Google searches and academic journal.
Endless. We even pulled an all-nighter.
Oh, yeah.
Fueled by coffee and pizza.
Of course.
Just trying to crack the code of celebrity obsession.
Yeah.
It was intense.
And you know what we found?
What?
It turns out there's a scientific reason why we're drawn to successful people.
Really?
Our brains are actually wired to pay attention to those who seem to have made it, you know?
What? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's like an ancient survival mechanism.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Our ancestors had to figure out who in the tribe had the best hunting strategy.
Okay, yeah.
Who knew how to build the sturdiest shelter, who had, the most desirable mate. It was all about observing and learning from the most successful individuals.
So you're saying we're basically hardwired to be starstruck.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's kind of amazing and a little bit terrifying at the same time.
Right. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about social comparison theory.
Ooh, fancy words.
Oh, sorry.
Break it down for us simple folk.
Basically, it just means we're constantly sizing ourselves up against others.
Right.
Just to figure out where we fit in.
Oh.
Are we on the right track? Are we doing as well as everyone else?
Yeah.
It's totally natural, and it's been happening since, the dawn of time.
So even cavemen were, comparing their fire-making skills.
Yeah, pretty much.
And wondering if their loincloths were as stylish as their neighbors.
But, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Sometimes looking up to someone who has achieved what we aspire to can actually be motivating. It's if they can do it, maybe I can too.
Totally. Like Oprah.
Yeah.
Her story is incredible.
It's amazing.
And I bet it's inspired, millions to chase their dreams.
Absolutely. There are tons of studies showing that learning about successful people can actually boost our own motivation and give us a sense of hope. It's we're subconsciously absorbing their success vibes.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a little mental boost.
Exactly.
A reminder that anything is possible.
Exactly. And let's not forget the pure entertainment factor.
Oh, yeah.
Just like watching a movie or reading a gossip magazine, keeping up with celebrities and influencers can be a way to relax, escape from our own lives for a bit.
Right.
And just have some fun.
Oh, totally. Remember that time when we spent 3 hours watching that influencer try to build a gingerbread house that ended up looking like
the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
It was pure escapism. Sometimes you just need that kind of lighthearted distraction.
Absolutely. And sometimes influencers can even act as cultural ambassadors, introducing us to new ideas, perspectives, and ways of life that we might not have been exposed to otherwise.
Ooh, like that incredible influencer, Lee Ziki.
Yeah.
Her videos about rural life in China are just mesmerizing.
Exactly. She's a perfect example of how influencers can bridge cultural gaps and connect people from all over the world.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
It's like getting a glimpse into a whole different world.
Yeah.
Right from your phone.
Right.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Right. And speaking of amazing, you know what else is amazing? This coffee I'm sipping on.
Okay, hold up. Are you trying to sneak in a coffee break in the middle of our deep dive?
Maybe.
Okay.
Just a little one. All this influencer talk is making me thirsty.
All right, I get it. But just a quick one.
Yeah?
We've got a lot more ground to cover.
Okay. But first, coffee. Okay, coffee break over.
Ugh. It's so hard to resist that second cup.
I know, right?
Okay, back to the deep dive.
Back to the deep dive.
Where were we?
We were about to get real about the dark side of influencer obsession.
Oh, right.
So we've talked about some of the positive aspects of our obsession with influencers and celebrities, but let's be real, there's a flip side to this coin too.
Oh, for sure. We can't ignore the potential downsides. Things can get a little dark when we get too caught up in the world of influencers. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it?
Nope, not always. Get ready for the dark side of influencer obsession. So first of all, it can be a major time suck.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's so easy to get lost in that endless scroll of social media, watching influencer hauls, celebrity drama, and those like weirdly satisfying slime videos. Hours can just disappear.
Ugh, tell me about it. I've definitely fallen victim to that black hole of scrolling. You start watching one video and then suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're like, wait, what did I even accomplish today?
Exactly. And it's not just time wasted, it can actually make us feel worse. Like, studies link excessive social media use to increased anxiety and depression. It's almost like we're feeding our brains junk food instead of nourishing meals.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Like, we're stuffing ourselves with empty calories of information, but not actually gaining anything of substance.
Right. And one of the biggest pitfalls of influencer culture is like the whole unrealistic expectations thing.
Oh, totally. It's so easy to compare ourselves to those perfectly curated, picture-perfect lives we see online and feel like we're falling short. But we have to remember, what we see online is just a highlight reel, not real life.
Exactly. It's like they're showing us the perfectly staged photos, but not the messy behind the scenes. Like, you know, they probably spent hours getting that perfect shot, and they probably had like a team of people helping them with hair, makeup, lighting, all that stuff.
And probably a filter or two, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's all smoke and mirrors, but it's easy to forget that when you're constantly bombarded with these images of perfection.
Right. It can be seriously damaging to our self-esteem.
Yeah.
We start thinking we need to look a certain way, have certain things, live a certain lifestyle to be happy. But it's just not realistic, and it sets us up for disappointment.
Right, and that can lead to all sorts of problems, you know, like feeling inadequate to even financial stress, like trying to keep up with the Joneses, or in this case, the Kardashians.
Exactly. And let's not forget the potential for, like, the spread of unhealthy values.
Oh, right.
Like, think about those influencers who promote extreme dieting.
Oh, yeah.
Or those who are constantly pushing, like, expensive products that most people can't even afford.
Yeah, that's a huge issue. They have a lot of influence, and sometimes that influence can be used in ways that aren't beneficial to their followers.
It's like a double-edged sword, right?
It is.
Influencers can be incredibly inspiring and motivating.
Right.
But they can also perpetuate unrealistic standards, promote unhealthy behaviors.
Right. So what does this all mean? How do we navigate this complex world of influencer culture without losing ourselves in the process?
How do we engage with it in a healthy way without letting it consume us? Because let's be real, it's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Influencer culture is here to stay, so we need to figure out how to coexist with it in a way that benefits us rather than harms us.
So what's the solution? Spill the tea.
Well, the first step is awareness, you know?
Okay.
From there, it's all about making conscious choices.
So like maybe unfollowing those accounts that make you feel bad about yourself, or like limiting your time on social media.
Exactly. It's all about taking control of your online experience and making sure it's serving you in a positive way.
Okay, I like that, taking control. So it's not about avoiding influencers altogether. It's about like being more intentional about who we follow and how much time we spend in that world.
Right. And it's also crucial to like develop our media literacy skills so we can like critically analyze what we're seeing online and not take everything at face value. Remember, influencers are often selling us something, whether it's a product, a lifestyle, or even just an image.
So we need to be more discerning consumers of content, right?
Yes.
Like not just blindly accepting everything we see as the gospel truth.
Exactly. We have to ask ourselves, what's the motivation behind this post? Is this a genuine recommendation, or is this a paid sponsorship?
Are they actually this happy and perfect all the time, or is this just a carefully constructed facade?
Right. It's all about being critical thinkers and not letting ourselves get swept up in the hype.
Right. And don't forget, we have the power to choose to follow influencers who align with our values and interests, not just those who promote a flashy lifestyle or unattainable standards of beauty.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many amazing creators out there who are sharing real, authentic content about things that matter. Find those people and support them. It's about quality over quantity.
Yeah, it's like curating your own little corner of the internet that reflects what you actually care about and what inspires you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to unfollow or mute those accounts that don't bring you joy or inspiration. remember, it's your feed. You get to choose what you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm feeling empowered already. It's like we're taking back our power from the algorithm.
Exactly. And speaking of algorithms, this brings us to a final thought-provoking question we wanted to leave you with. How do you think AI and virtual influencers are going to change our relationship with fame in the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's like, are we all going to have our own personal AI assistants who are also, like, Instagram famous?
Yeah, it's like, what happens when AI influencers start doing, brand deals and going on virtual vacations? Are we even going to be able to tell the difference anymore?
And will we start feeling, like, emotionally attached to these AI creations? Will we be jealous of their perfectly rendered abs and flawless skin?
Oh, totally.
Oh my gosh, I can totally see it now.
Yeah.
People arguing in the comments about which AI influencer have the best fashion sense or the most luxurious, like, virtual mansion. Wild thought, isn't it? Like, what even is reality anymore when you can, like, create these entirely fabricated personas that are indistinguishable from real people?
Right. It's like a whole new level of the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think it's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Right.
Maybe AI influencers will actually be a positive force.
Oh, interesting.
Like maybe they can promote, positive messages and challenge societal norms in a way that real-life influencers sometimes struggle to do.
Right.
Because they're, worried about their image or their brand deals or whatever.
That's an interesting thought. Like, maybe they can be free from the pressures and insecurities that real people face, so they can be more bold and outspoken in their advocacy.
Totally.
Exactly. They could be like virtual superheroes for social change.
I love it. AI influencers saving the world one perfectly curated post at a time.
Okay, but seriously, I think there's a lot of potential there. Like, it's all about how we use this technology and what kind of values we program into these AI creations.
Yeah, you're right. It all comes back to being mindful and intentional about the choices we make, both online and offline. And speaking of choices, I think it's time for us to wrap up this episode. We could literally talk about this for hours, but
Yeah.
we have to be mindful of our listeners' time.
True that. We don't want to keep you all here all night, even though we're having a blast.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a part 2 on AI influencers sometime soon. I'm already brainstorming ideas.
Oh, definitely. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But for now, let's leave our listeners with a few key takeaways. So, what have we learned today?
Well, we learned that our fascination with influencers and celebrities is, rooted in some pretty basic human instincts, like social comparison and the desire to learn from those who seem to have made it. We explored, both the positive and negative aspects of this obsession. Like, it can be inspiring and entertaining, but it can also be a major time suck, fuel unrealistic expectations, and even promote unhealthy values.
Totally.
So the key is to be mindful, critical consumers of influencer content.
Okay.
To curate our feeds, set boundaries with our screen time, and always remember that what we see online is rarely the whole picture.
And hey, if you find yourself getting sucked into the influencer vortex, just remember to step back, take a deep breath, and reconnect with the things that truly matter in your own life. Like spending time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, and just enjoying the beauty of the real world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, let's raise a toast to being mindful, intentional, and empowered in our relationship with influencer culture.
Cheers to that. And hey, before we sign off, a huge shout out to Mickytolife for hitting that amazing milestone of 1,000 subscribers on their awesome travel, whiskey, and unboxing channel.
Ooh, congrats, Micky.
Keep on exploring, sipping, and unboxing, my friend. All right, everyone, that's a wrap for another episode of Sip and Talk. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating and often perplexing world of kinfluencer obsession. We'll catch you next time for another sip of knowledge, another dash of laughter, and hopefully a whole lot of food for thought.
Cheers.